uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! Well, hello there, humans of his earthlings, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Welcome aboard the Love Train as we talk about FPP, why it's dead, why this is so sad, and why I think the fight's been lost. Watch this asshole. This absolute grub. This is a 4KDR 200 game ace player from the Asia server. You can see him tracking me with ADS through walls. When I duck, he actually, he's so bad at this freaking potato. Watch him look down. I go down. He literally lowers his sight. He's looking at me. And then as I stand up to peek, the sight miraculously starts to come up again. What an amazingly gifted human. This is really frustrating for me because I've played 2 games of FPP in the last week. It's been hard to get in games, and I've played 2 of them. In both of them, I've met wankers like that. This guy, whatever his name is, Dickie, what an apt moniker, and his friend, who I'll get to in just a second. They are the second pairing that I've run into. The first guy was a guy called Superboy, sorry. He was super. Look at this, just looking out into the wilderness randomly. And then, what about we just climb up here? We won't look anywhere else in the entire map. We're just going to look over there. See what happens. Oh, well done. That's amazing. Well done. I accidentally reported his mate, and I felt bad about this until I went and checked his mate's stats out, and he had 1 season. This season, with a 4.6 KDR, and he'd been playing his whole time with his buddy, Super Dickhead. And this was surprising to me because, if you've never played the game before, you would not start off with stats like this because this is what happens when people get their account suspended or banned. They come back and just re-roll a new account. And this is at the heart of the problem. There is no real war on cheats. I'm going to go over a few points here which are really frustrating but are true nonetheless. It doesn't make me happy that they're true, but they're just true. I played 2 games, and in both of those games, I got killed by cheats. The first guy got banned. It took me minutes to get into this game, many minutes, and immediately on the hot drop, the 2 dudes I found were these 2 wankers. He randomly just runs over here and hides behind a rock. There's no gunfire there. There's just, off he goes. This is how he's playing. So the things that are true that are really nonetheless frustrating are that these accounts, these players don't ever get banned. Their accounts are worth nothing. They just start playing again on another account almost immediately. That's why his best mate here with 129 games has 4 KDR and he's got 1 season. I'll bet you if you looked at his old account, it would match up exactly with the amount of games this guy's got. So another 70 odd games. This is really frustrating because FPP is particular. I mean, look at this Wally. Look at him. Ugh. FPP is particularly useful for hackers, for cheats, because look at this guy. I mean, he's tracking him through walls the whole time. If you're in TPP, you just go and stand next to the wall and you would see everything. So you'd have to turn on auto aim to get things done or improve your chances, because ESP, while it would be helpful, would not be nearly as helpful as being able to do this in FPP. But put people like this who are bad at the game in FPP, or at least not very good, and they are able to leverage the cheats into performances above and beyond their skill level. And that's why FPP is a wasteland for players. That's why FPP is just so ridiculously tough to play, because you get a lot of cheats all over the game. But when you play FPP, the queue times are longer because people have just got sick of it. In season, I think it was 7, I had 500 and something FPP games in squads. I have had many seasons where total combined I've had way more than that just in FPP. And now I never play FPP. There was a time on this channel where FPP was all I played. I never played TPP because TPP's playstyle rewards passive play. I mean, it's something you can't argue with. FPP is a more dynamic version of the game. You have to take risks to have the engagement. You have to track targets with your ears and you have to time things correctly, and there's an instinctiveness to that. In TPP, if you are behind a rock looking at someone coming into a circle, you just watch them and you choose when to shoot. In FPP, you have to poke to see the target. So there is a dynamic element to the game that just doesn't exist in TPP. And it's just superb to watch. All the best games in the world of shooters, as far as I'm concerned, are FPP-based games. And PUBG Mobile, sadly, is the best FPP shooter I've ever seen on a mobile device. The gunplay on PUBG Mobile and FPP is amazing. It is just like playing PUBG PC in so many, many ways. But it's dead. And it's died because of cheats. It's not because, like, I'll go through some of the things that I've heard people say. That PUBG Mobile's FPP is not successful because it's not supported by Tencent. That's not why it's not successful. It's not successful. I would play it whether or not Tencent played it. I used to play it and there were no queues. There was no queues to get into FPP games. And that didn't stop because Tencent wasn't promoting it. They were never really promoting it in the first place. It got a little bit of hoo-ha when it first came in. And for them, they have to sell gun skins in FPP, and that's fine. You can sell gun skins in FPP and make money. Like, have a look. This is a gun skin for FPP. You can make money. What you don't get is return business, because I won't log in again this season. I've played 2 games of FPP and died twice to cheats. Why would I bother? And this is from someone who was the most diehard FPP YouTube channel on the freaking internet for PUBG Mobile. I was the staunchest, most dogmatic advocate for this mode of the game. The other thing is that, like, people say, well, TPP is easier. And that's true. TPP is easier. If you're a new player, you can pick up TPP straight away. But there is a tier system in FPP, just like there is a tier system in TPP. And if you were a new player, you got stuck down the bottom of the tiers and worked your way up, just like you do in TPP. No, the reason this doesn't work is because of these guys, wankers like this and his mate, who's a one-season wonder. Let me just explain to you again, in case you've missed the boat, and I doubt you have, but this is how it works. When you purchase hacks, you purchase a key, okay? And Tencent are doing a better job of getting rid of these things, but there's still no end game. You purchase, I'll just break this down. You purchase a key, and it gives you access to the cheats. And the cheats are then yours to use, not the account. They don't give the cheats to your account. They give you a key that gives you access to the cheats. And you can resell that key and all kinds of rubbish happens. And there's lots of different people trying to sell these things, and they make a lot of money out of it. There's all kinds of stories in the news regularly about, there was a big gaming den that got raided in China recently where they seized millions and millions of dollars worth of expensive sports cars and all kinds of crap. And it's big business. And that was for games, not just for PUBG Mobile. We're talking about actual companies that make these games make these cheats for multiple games, not just PUBG Mobile, right? They make them for everything. And then you pay a subscription and you get your key and you use it. So when you get your account suspended in PUBG Mobile, you just roll up a new social media account, like a new Twitter account, put in a new email, and you're back online. It does nothing. It absolutely doesn't stop them. You saw the partner of this player has had 120 matches in FPP this season and has never played before. And that's a pretty defining characteristic of these players that we're talking about. You will see them all the time. I catch them on stream all the time, and I get a lot of ban pans for this, where I'm like, that's suspect, and people are like, no, that's not suspect, you're just being a sook. And then we go and look at their account, and they've got 1 season's worth of play or 2 seasons worth of play at most, and they've been playing it at all-star levels since day one, because that's their new account. That's all they do. They just go and re-roll an account. So PUBG Mobile have done a better job than this on this. They've done more recently, and I'm not going to go directly into why and how, because I don't want to give any help whatsoever to the guys that make these filthy bits of software. And they've had some big victories where they've banned massive amounts of accounts and made certain bits of software completely obsolete to the point where they've broken that company, which is a crazy idea. Think about that. Like there's people whose entire livelihood is making these, like turning up at a job 9 to 5 and going to work and paying your bills and keeping the gas and electricity on and paying, your rent and getting a new car and all that. They do that by ruining everyone's gaming experience. That's literally what they do. And PUBG Mobile, or Tencent rather, have had victories. I mean, look at this. He's just run up and thrown a grenade into the middle of two people. This is ruining everyone's experience, and there's nothing they can do about it. The war has been lost because there is no deterrent. If this guy's account goes, and it should, I mean, have a look at his name. You can see him here. But he's played hundreds of games. How many of those do you think they have just completely spoiled for everyone else involved? Look at him. I'll just stop back and look there. It's just a guy rotating in late. FPP's dead. Is it coming back? I highly doubt it. And this is my biggest worry for the game, is that amidst all the wonderful additions to the game, and there are many, many wonderful additions to the game that are made constantly, great bits of game mechanics, enjoyable events, wonderful maps, that this is what's going to do us in, this kind of crap, because some wanker with $25 a month is able to completely negate the skill and the gameplay abilities of someone who's been playing for 18 seasons. And they can do it and ruin the game for them. And yet, there is no comeuppance. They don't lose their account. They're not banned. They're just waiting to come back 30 seconds later. I have no answers. And it's very depressing. I hope you guys are well. I'm Bushka. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.